Want to learn how to read the level 2 and use it to start making more money? In this video, I'm going to show you how to do just that and start using the level 2 to improve your trading. The first thing to go over is there are kind of two level 2s. There's the traditional level 2 and the visual level 2. Now you may be more used to the traditional level 2 that you see at the left side of my screen. But on the right side of my screen is the visual level 2, and this is what I use and what I'm going to be basing my videos on. This is a much better platform for retail traders. It doesn't break it down by market maker ID. It aggregates all the orders together. It gives you a historical order map, and it really gives you a good feel of where the price may go. So for retail traders, I would say use a visual level 2. I use a platform called Market Atlas, but there's others like Bookmap out there that all do the same thing. So I'm going to quickly go over the different parts of this visual level 2, and then we'll learn how to use it to start making trades. So here is the full view of Market Atlas, and there's a few components to be aware of. First, right here on the very right, we have the depth of market, the level 2. So this shows you all the orders to the downside and to the upside. And you're going to see here that they actually have aggregated them together in 5-cent intervals. And you can change this setting, but for higher price stocks, 5 cents is a pretty good aggregate. You don't really need to know if there's an order at 241, another at 242, another at 243. Let's just aggregate those all at either 240 or 245, and we'll see all that order. So they are. So that is the depth of market. Right next to it, we have the visual representation of that, and how this works is, the hotter the colors, the more orders there are. And the cooler the colors there are, the less orders there are. So this just gives you that visual idea. And this is all relative as well. So if you have a really huge order, it will appear very bright and everything else will be much cooler in comparison. So this kind of changes as the orders grow and shrink. Over here on the left side of the screen, this entire thing is the heat map, and this shows you the historical order book. So it shows you where there were orders, where orders were filled, where orders were placed. So it gives you an idea of how orders have been moving around the book, which is very useful. We are trying to see where the price has moved in relation to those orders. And if you look here, this bright yellow line across the middle, that was an order, and you can actually see going across that it grew and it got hotter. But also as orders ran into it, it started to disappear. And that's because the orders were being filled. So the number of orders on the book were going down until eventually it was completely filled and it disappeared altogether. At the very bottom, you could see a smaller order that it's been there for a little while. This is only, I think, 2 minutes I'm showing on my screen right now. So it's been there for at least 2 minutes, but you can go further back in time and see a little bit further. But that is just a steady, smaller order along the bar. If we look here, the red and the green line, this is the bid and the ask. So this gives you the historical bid and ask, with the red being the ask and the green being the bid. And this just helps you see where, buying falls in relation to the bid and ask and how it's changed over time. The bubbles are the volume delta. So this actually shows you the difference between buyers and sellers at this area. So it's not the total volume, but it's the difference in the buyers versus sellers. And if it is red, then there were more sellers. If it's green, there were more buyers. And the bigger the bubble, the bigger the difference in buying versus selling. All right, so let's quickly go down and start taking a look at how we can use this to make some trade ideas or get information about where the price may go. So we're taking a look at this here. This is AMD. And if we take a look at it, we could see that first it filled this order right up here at around 238.70. And there was a big order there, got filled. And then it continued down and it filled this big order here at 237.95. Now the reason this is important is when there's lots of volume in the market, the price will tend to gravitate towards where there are large orders. So with volume, price moves to size is the general idea that you're looking at when you're thinking about your trade ideas. You see these big orders, you see lots of volume in the market. Generally, it means you're going to go towards those big orders. So if we thought about this, where do we think this is going to go next? Well, the next largest order here, and it's not as big as the other ones were, it's not as bright, but it's still pretty big, is down at 237. And so we might start to think about that, but we're going to consider a few other things. Let's take a look at the order book. We see there's actually lots of orders to the downside. So again, that's where the size is. That's where the size is. So that's where we think price goes. Because if we compare that to the top side, there's not a lot of orders to the top side. So not a lot of people are thinking it's going to go up. Everybody has this going down. So we could start thinking, all right, it looks like AMD is going to break down and move down to 237, at least because that's where the next biggest order is. So now I'm going to actually take this and show you how I use it in practice. So this is a trade I took an NVIDIA. Now the first thing is I always start from my trade book. I don't go directly to the level 2. And so first I'm looking for a setup for my playbook. And in this one here, I was looking for the opening bounce where a stock is gapped up and then it comes back, rejects a VWAP, and then moves back up. So I see here the rejection on VWAP. And so I'm starting to think this would be a good trade to take. But the next thing I do is now I check my level 2. And the first thing I look at is the order book. And I do see that it looks bearish. There are more orders to the top side, including a really huge order up at 195. Now the price right now is only at 193, so that's pretty far away. But I do see orders at 194, 194.50 that are pretty big. Even 193.50 has a big order. So I'm feeling okay about that. It looks like good orders to the top side. I see those on here. There's a nice ladder to that big order at 195, and what that means is there's like steps going up to that big order, and they're equidistance apart. So usually that is a large hedge fund that has placed those orders, so they're trying to scale out or steal into a position, in this case steal out of a position, but they can't do it all at once, otherwise they would move the price against them too much. So it's done in stages like this. So I take a look at that, and then I look to the bottom side to see, hey, are there a lot of orders to the downside? Because if there are, then I don't know where the price is going to go. But in this case, I do see some down there, but they're at 192, and again we're above 193 with bigger orders closer to us to the top side. So I feel pretty confident, and now I'm going to go ahead and I get in the trade, and let's take a look and see how it goes. So we already see here that it's starting to eat into these orders that were just above it. We've hit the 193.50, and now we're going to continue upwards. And really we're looking for our first price target up here of 194. That's where the first really big order is, and I can see it's already growing a little bit. So the price might take a little bit of time to get there. It doesn't move straight in the line. It goes up, it goes down. Market orders are still coming in and being filled. There are still limit orders getting filled, so it doesn't go directly there, but it will gravitate there so long as the volume is consistently high. And I'm checking if the volume is to open, so it's usually pretty high, and now it's hit that 194 level. So this is usually where I take a partial, and then I would also re-examine that level 2 to see where I might think it's going to go next. So let me look at level 2 right now. Again, big orders to the top side, nice ladder going up, and it's pretty much empty to the downside. So for me, there's a very bullish, a very good sign to stick in this trade and let it continue upwards. So let's see what happens. All right, so here we go. We're getting close to that 194.50. Sometimes it will stay below it. It has to, gather enough strength to break through it. But here it goes. It's gathered that 194.50. Now let's see if you can break up to 195. The important part is just to be patient and keep an eye on things. Like for right now, even though it's kind of moving sideways and even pulling back a little bit, you don't need to get super concerned until you start seeing the orders below. And it could easily go down without the orders being there. A flood of market orders to come in, but that's not what the order book is telling us. The order book is telling us that it's going to continue to go up. So you just hold steady, maintain your confidence, and stick in the trade, and eventually it will get there. Worst case scenario, you stop at a break even, you've already taken a partial. But again, this is very bullish, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't make it to at least 195. It might struggle a little bit, but eventually it will get there. All right. So So again, we don't see anything popping up to the bottom side. Right now it's just chopping, gathering enough strength to break through the top side. If you look at the volume, it's still quite high. It's open, so there's always less, but we're still over 1.2 million shares traded in this minute. So again, here we go, and it breaks. So that was almost expected when you see that kind of an order book. When you see nothing below, you're really confident in it going up. It's not always going to happen. This is trading, anything can happen, but these are the indicators you're looking for. Again, the level 2 is just another indicator. And all it is it's another tool for you to use to formulate trade ideas and make good decisions. And combine that with your other indicators in your playbook to enhance your trading. You can't just replace it and trade directly off the level 2. Again, it's really just another indicator for your playbook. And we'll just let it continue. But if you like this video, make sure to subscribe so you can check out all my educational videos and my trade recaps. Until next video, happy trading.